Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks event for investors and startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops, and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, corporate VCs, and angel investors. You may ask questions at any time during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup Yva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest Matt Andelman, CEO and co-founder at ABC Tokens. ABC Tokens is a commercial real estate-backed security token. The tokens represent fractional ownership in a commercial real estate portfolio. ABC tokens are combining the liquidity of REITs with the added benefits of blockchain and tokenization. Their approach lowers the barrier of entry, enhances liquidity, and will allow for customization of your real estate exposure to a level never seen before in the industry. With a deep understanding of real estate and ongoing curiosity for the newest technologies and a thirst for innovation, Matt became obsessed with the idea of asset-backed crypto. In 2020, Matt founded ABC Tokens with the goal of improving traditional finance in the commercial real estate sector. Since then, he's assembled a rock star team with nearly 400 years of commercial real estate experience and successfully launched tokenized commercial real estate investment platform, abctokens.com. Take it away, Gary.
That's great. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it. Thanks, June and entire VC Task Force team. As Joel said, my name is Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I'm the CEO, president, and co-founder of GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Palo Alto, California. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. And so with that, Matt, I have a question for you. Was it interesting going to Miami University?
Of course it was. A few colleges I was looking at the time, and that was far enough away from home where I didn't feel I would be seeing my parents on a regular basis. But it had a great reputation in the Chicagoland area, and I always knew I'd go home as a business school. And had a beautiful campus. So
why did they name it Miami University? It's a little misleading, isn't it?
It sure is. Only people maybe from the Midwest know what you're talking about when you tell them where you went to school. Otherwise, everyone else thinks you were in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's really interesting. I remember growing up as a kid in Pennsylvania, and people would say, I'm going to Miami University. Really? Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
The Midwest. All right. So tell me a little bit about it. So you were a broker with Coldwell Banker, and you went down through that process. How did you come up with ABC FinTech and the tokens? How did you get into this environment?
You know, even before Coldwell, I was working for a commercial real estate developer. I was director of development and commercial leasing. I had about 1 million square foot portfolio of retail and office space, and I would present before various municipalities on new developments. So planning commissions and zoning boards and city council hearings. That's kind of how I got my introduction to commercial real estate. And then I was at, it's now SVN. It was Ferry Van Ness, but now SVN, which had offices across the country and, 1,000+ commercial brokers. So that's kind of my background. But, I got the crypto blockchain bug pretty early on. I was an early investor in Bitcoin, unfortunately, an early seller too. I didn't hodl, but I did understand the underlying technology, and I was always interested in how it could disrupt the industry I was most familiar with, which was commercial real estate. And so a few years ago, started to research securities laws. I met Sam Proctor, who's the CEO of Genesis Block. They're a financial and technology advisory company, and knew I wanted to comply with, let's say, regulation, SEC regulation, but create something on blockchain, a security token that could be backed by equity in a commercial real estate portfolio to provide enhanced liquidity for people, which which I knew from my past experiences as a limited partner in commercial real estate deals, the difficulties of getting your money out once it's in.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So tell me a little bit about it. So tell us a little bit about ABC and where you guys are today.
So it's been a couple of years. I started by assembling a team. We say rock star commercial real estate professionals. They've got backgrounds and experience at the most well-known and trusted, companies: CBRE, Cushman & Wakefield, SBN, Brookfield, Arco Murray. And so, the conversations early on, because this is a couple of years ago, and even still today, tokenization isn't totally mainstream. There's still some skepticism. People hear crypto and a lot of people run from it. But fortunately, the relationships that I had with these people and the trust, they came on board and wanted to support the vision. So that was first. Next was raise a little bit of working capital. We raised some friends and family. We launched a crowdfunding raise on WeFunder and raised a few $100,000. We built our technology stack and actually launched version 2 of the commercial real estate investment web platform, abctokens.com, just a few weeks ago. Huge upgrade. We designed a legal and regulatory compliance framework by which we offer these digital asset securities to stay compliant with SEC regulation. And now we're at a point, we also, I guess, went through proof of concept. We sold tokens to friends and family and beyond, and we closed on several commercial real estate properties. The portfolio is small, but again, it was to go through proof of concept. And, people say we built the rocket ship now. And so we're raising working capital at this point to scale.
And so tell us a little bit about how was your experience on WeFunder? How does it work?
It's a couple month process to really get up and running there. There's some legal hoops you have to jump through. You have to get your reviewed financials, so your tax returns from previous years by a CPA. And then it's really about then advertising yourself and engaging with the WeFunder community, because there are a lot of companies on WeFunder. But it's also a huge audience. I think they have 1.4 million, maybe plus now, of members that look for investment opportunities, with early stage companies like ABC. And we have over 300 investors now, and 330,000 raised. So we feel like it's been a success. There's been obviously there's a lot of economic uncertainty with just in general right now, and so it's slowed down a little bit. I'm starting to try to post more and do more video content and re-engage and really show people just how much we've built with the money that we've raised so far. Again, to kind of build that trust and confidence that we're not going anywhere, and it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, it's great. And so what's your vision? How is this market going to grow the next 2 to 3 years?
So which market? There's kind of a crypto component. There's a commercial real estate component.
Let's take them one at a time. So
yeah,
sure.
Let's
talk about the commercial real estate, because with the current interest rates, the way they are going up, it obviously is going to have some impact on the market. So what's it going to look like?
Cap rates are already going up. There's definitely a gap or spread between what sellers want. They think it's 6 months ago and they want X dollars for their property, but buyers are more concerned about the future here and obviously paying more in interest for their loans, and they want to see valuations come down a little bit. These things take time, and eventually people will meet in the middle, but it has slowed down. We see it as an opportunity for us to be a well-capitalized commercial real estate fund, to really take advantage of the opportunity, buying properties possibly at a discount, with long-term appreciation. And commercial real estate is a very broad description. So you have multifamily, you have office, you have retail, you have hotels.
So what's happening though? Multifamily, you had a lot of corporations coming out there buying these multifamily and single family homes, right? So
yeah, there's
what's happening? What's going to happen with that?
Well, again, I think geographically speaking, there's areas that are hot. There's areas people are moving to where real estate taxes are low. And I think they're stable markets and they're going to be just fine. I think there's other places where real estate taxes are going up. Maybe there's crime and people are moving out. maybe at a state or county or city level, they're in debt, tremendous amounts of debt. So I just think you have to look at all of these things when you consider an investment in commercial real estate and make sure you're putting your money in the right place.
Got it. So let's talk about crypto. What's going on with crypto? Crypto is another one that's been having some problems lately.
Yeah, kind of no surprise there. It's cyclical and has been since its inception. There's Crypto again is very broad, right? And Bitcoin's different from Ether, is different from altcoins, is different from asset-backed crypto like us or security tokens. So I think Bitcoin has tremendous value. I think of it as digital gold. I see BlackRock investing in Coinbase, which was huge. I think there's going to be some institutional money flowing into crypto in the near future, which is great. I don't know really how that affects us. I think of us not as crypto. While we have crypto in our name and we're on blockchain, we're a token on blockchain. So sure, we're crypto, but really, it represents ownership in a commercial real estate portfolio, and it's regulated by the SEC and is considered a security. So hopefully people can, again, separate us from traditional cryptocurrencies and have a little bit more faith in what it is that we're building and the value behind it.
You said the SEC overlooks it?
Yeah, we consider ourselves, a security. So there's the Howey test, and, we're telling people they can expect this. If we invest the money wisely, it should appreciate in value. And if you're buying something and you expect it to appreciate in value, I mean, it should be regulated by the SEC.
Got it. Interesting. So, and tell us a little bit about your progress year to date. What's happening year to date? How are you doing?
Well, again, so the team is growing. We've brought on a business development manager, a chief information officer. We've added a couple advisors. We've raised a little bit of money in the last few months, and one of our featured property right now that we've invested in is it's a $46 million build to rent community in Calhoun, Georgia, carpet capital of the world, and that's a hot asset class right now. Are these build to rent communities? And so the sponsor of that deal has more in the pipeline. They like working with us.
What's a build to rent? Tell us a little bit about build to rent. Some of the viewers may not be familiar with that term.
So that's building an entire subdivision of, let's call it, single family homes with the intent to rent 100% of them. So you're not building these houses to sell them individually. You're building single family homes and renting them to people.
Why would people want to do that, Matt? I mean, just because of the prices going up over time? Why would
a developer want to build the single family homes?
Well, I understand why developers would, but why would people want to get involved in a situation with a single family home when the prices are going to go up and you wouldn't want to lock in at that price, right? So you wouldn't get to a point. I know in California we had a lot of this, where a situation where people would rent, but then I know one guy had a direct conversation. We was at one of the computer companies, and he said, I can't afford to live anymore here because, now that I'm retired and I've gone through that, I didn't buy a house and didn't lock in the price, right? I didn't have a fixed payment every month that I could rely on. The prices went through the roof, triple what he had originally paid.
I can't speak to, I guess, call it a landlord or the developer when they're rented. Raising rents astronomically on people doesn't seem fair or moral to me. I don't think that at least the developers we're working with have the intent after they're built and rented to sell them. After that, I don't know what will happen. I think it's a good product for people who don't have money to put down and buy.
Either that, or they know they're not going to be there very long.
Yeah, I would say, or it's a temporary thing. I mean, if you're going to buy,
or the market's going down. If the market's going down, and you just want to get into a place, right? Then or you have a longer term lease. How long are the terms of lease, by the way? What is it?
I would say, typically a year plus. I mean, they're not short term leases; they're a year plus. But also, if you have a family and your only other option, is an apartment building or something where you don't have a yard, you don't have a garage, to be able to rent a single family house, I think is very valuable for some people.
Have we ever thought about, it's interesting, but have you ever thought about, lease purchase options? I mean, that could be interesting for families too, to try to help them,
I'm not the developer or the sponsor of the deal, so I can't tell you what they're thinking as far as lease to purchase options. I think it could be creative and could add value to the development. But again, these are more of like a 2 to 3 year play. You know, you're the developer, you build them, you rent them, and then you exit.
And then do they get to a point where they sell them? I know with condos over 20 years, they end up selling the condos, the apartments, right?
Yeah, I think it's again a case by case basis. If you know you analyze it and you decide that's the highest and best use, and you want to give separately pin each individual parcel and sell them off one by one, you go for it.
That's interesting. So you tell us, and go back to the token part. Tell us how the token's going to work in terms of this environment. How does exactly it work?
So currently, so the way our platform works is you sign up, you go through a KYC AML process. And so for those who don't know, that's identity verification, know your customer, anti-money laundering. They're currently available only to accredited investors. So those, who have a net worth of north of $1 million or make, a couple $100,000 a year as an individual, or 300 as a couple, or have the right, went and got a financial education and have certain licenses. So if you qualify as an accredited investor, you can invest in the tokens. You then electronically sign a token purchase agreement. It's kind of like a subscription agreement. You could think of it that way. You're able to connect your bank account and transfer funds. So we have a payment processor integrated as well. And then on the back end, we move tokens from our corporate wallet, and this is on blockchain, the actual ABC tokens, into what's called an omnibus sub-account that's associated with your account ID in our investor portal. And so this is where those tokens will reside through the lockup period. This is again to stay compliant with SEC regulation. They're non-transferable for a year after purchase. So tokens reside in this sub account, and then after a year, we'll distribute all of the tokens to the investors. And then the liquidity comes from during this time now, actually, we're in conversations with multiple secondary markets. They're called alternative trading systems, or an ATS. T0 is a big one. They rang the opening bell on the New York Stock Exchange just a few months ago, which to me marked a milestone of really where we're headed in terms of kind of traditional finance moving to blockchain. And this is where digital asset securities like ABC tokens will be traded in the future. So currently, because we're offering tokens only to accredited investors and they're non-transferable for a year, that's not always going to be the case. Think into the future, a year and longer. We'll have other offerings available to non-accredited investors through what's called a Reg A plus Tier 2 offering. This takes some time to get qualified with the SEC, but we can raise up to $75 million then through our platform from all types of investors, whether you're accredited or not. So that's kind of what's up and coming.
Got it. So where do the markets, you're out there looking at these markets, you got this current building. Where else are you looking at? What real estate markets are hot that you're going to look at to invest in?
No, it's interesting you asked that because, again, asset type. So whether you're talking multifamily or industrial, self-storage, again, different places are hot for different asset types. You look at the strength of where are people moving? Where is
They're going to Miami. Let's say Miami, Florida.
So Florida, Texas are two. We like Phoenix. And Arizona. We've seen some other opportunities. We just invested one in Ventura, California, a multifamily rehab. And again, there's deals everywhere. So
how do you find them though? How do you go out and find these deals?
Part of it is the network that I have for being in real estate for 20 years. And it's also the 2 advisory boards that we've created. And this 300-400 years of commercial real estate experience. They're helping with deal sourcing for us, and it's through their networks as well that we get deals sent to us, on a daily basis, and then we have to underwrite them and see if they're worth investing in.
Got it.
And there's so much data online too. If you have a subscription to CoStar, for example, they have a very robust team. I'll say of researchers that every transaction that happens in commercial real estate, they call the broker on both sides, they call the property owner, or the seller, they call the buyer. They get as much information as they possibly can. They get the tenants and their leases, the lease commencement, the lease expiration, the price per square foot. There's so much data out there that it makes evaluating an opportunity easy almost from anywhere.
No, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's great. So you have this, you got the tokens, you're looking at the market. What about the international markets?
So that's an offering to an exemption from SEC registration called a Reg S, and we have prepared our offering memorandum, and we have to now create our portal for international investors on our platform, which is forthcoming here very soon. But absolutely, we have the intention of raising money from international and qualified international investors in the near future. Again, that money would be invested into commercial real estate and represent a fractional interest in the portfolio.
No, that's great. What about investing in foreign properties?
So so far, some of the markets we're looking at are Singapore, Dubai, and forgetting another one. So far, Southeast Asia is kind of where we're interested at this point in time, and we have connections to.
No,
But I think that's more of like a mid to late 2023 before we really dive into that.
And I mean, there's a lot of other markets out there. Look at Africa, for instance. There's 1.4 billion people in 54 countries. A lot of going in Nigeria. I mean, and it's always good to be early on, isn't it?
Sure. I think you need to know somebody in that market that you have a relationship and can trust and have access to information. I don't know anybody in Africa at this point, but you want to connect me with somebody, I'm happy to do some research. And
some of them come through GSD, by the way. So there's
okay, great.
With GSD. So we have a number of African, but it seems to me that, if you go into these greenfield areas where people don't really understand how to do it, it's going to take off.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because of minerals, because of the 54 countries. Nigeria went from 100 population 180 or 190 to 235 in a year.
I see risk until I understand something. I don't feel comfortable investing in it, and I don't understand like China, for example. I feel like government controls and regulation and just how the economy works. There's not a high level of comfort of investing any money. I just don't understand. I feel like whether it's eminent domains, something could happen where we just don't have control over the investment or the real estate. And so until I really understand those risks, it's really hard to think about investing money outside of the U.S. right now.
Got it. All right, super. So we're coming up to the last few minutes. Tell us a little bit more about your closing thoughts, and then how do people get a hold of you?
Closing thoughts are, the GSD Accelerator program was phenomenal. Met a lot of really great people. We got a lot of value from it. I think our deck improved a great deal, learning how to talk to angels and VCs, what to say, what not to say. Always trying to get to the next meeting was really valuable. And we're in a formal due diligence process right now with several different groups. And so the future looks bright for us. I know we're going to raise the working capital we need to scale here. Hopefully by October 31st, I think we'll have raised $1 million. And, we were thankful for the opportunity to join your program.
No, that's great. So tell us a little bit about, if you could say, you go down through and rank 3 pieces that are really important for entrepreneurs coming out, because a lot of entrepreneurs watch the show. And what are some of the 3 characteristics of companies from your perspective that help them to be able to be successful as early stage startups?
I think the people you surround yourself with are really important. I was told the right partner can make all the difference. And that was true in my case. My partner, Doug, he's got his MBA from Harvard, experienced scaling companies, had the financial and operations experience I was looking for and somebody to partner with. And so I'm very, very blessed to have him on the team, as well as the other core management team and advisory boards. And then I would say work-life balance is difficult. And so I've got a family. I have a wife and a 4-year-old boy. Learning how to put away the computer, put away the phone, and really spend quality time with your loved ones is incredibly important. And to just not get wrapped up in your work. And then 2, I guess maybe managing cash flow. I think water gets expensive when you're halfway through the desert. And so just making sure that you have money in the bank for when you need it is crucial.
No, that's important. Managing your runway is always important because you don't want to run out of money. And if you do run out of money, you start to go down that path. It costs a whole lot more to get it quickly, and people know it. And what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Email is great, matt@abctokens.com. You can reach me. I'm on LinkedIn. I think if you just Google my name, you'll probably find a few other ways to reach me. But,
all right, sounds great. Matt, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thanks to all the viewers for tuning in one more time to Gary's Picks. We'll be back again within the next 2 weeks for another exciting edition. Joel, any closing thoughts?
Well, thank you both very much for a very interesting and informative interview and discussion. Matt, clearly real estate is a very hot area. It's really an underpinning of our economy, and I personally am a real estate investor as well as working with a number of startups as we discussed earlier. So I think that what you're doing is very interesting, very exciting for our audience, and highly relevant. So thanks to both of you. Again, we'll see Gary back in 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll see folks in the audience as well. Till then, everybody stay well and take care.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Great to be here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.